Hey, thanks for making it to Veterans Info Tap. I'm glad you made it today. Hey, if you're not aware about an article that came out a few days ago, you clicked on this thumbnail, Defund the VA is essentially what the Washington Post is calling for. And I don't care, look, if it's one person that wrote it and, they didn't really vet it or whatever they're going to say, who knows. The bottom line is that organization has now backed the idea of defunding the VA at any level. You take away $1 from the VA and that's defunding it to some extent. So I'm going to kind of start this off with, when I did a few videos on the Congressional Budget Office and their recommendation to limit or decrease the amount of compensation received if a household has a certain income level up to 170, and then after that it just goes to zero. You get all kinds of responses, right? Some of the responses, and look, I'm not hating on anybody, right? Leave whatever response you want. I'm happy for it because we need to have that type of back and forth and banter and all that. Look, I never thought that was going to happen. It's not going to come to fruition this year. But who's to say 4 or 5 years down the road, there's not some sort of a change, not exactly like that, but something. We need to nip these things in the bud as quick as we can, because otherwise some version will come to fruition. You can sit there and you can keep saying to yourself, that won't happen. I'm not going to say anything. Yeah, that won't happen. This and that, whatever. But I will tell you what, if it was any other protected group, right? Veterans are a protected group. If it was any other protected group that was being targeted in this fashion, you could bet that heads would be rolling. Heads would be rolling at the Washington Post because they would get bombarded from every angle about the disbelief that they would even mention something. So, look, I'm going to do several videos on this topic because I believe that it's important. You have to stop the snowball before it gets too big to stop, right? So here's the bottom line. The bottom line is that in the article, and I'll read it, tomorrow or the next day or whatever, so that way you have the context. But in that article, there was a piece of it that they essentially talked about the same thing that the Congressional Budget Office was talking about, which was that limiting or means testing, or, if you have so much money coming into your household, or if you make a certain amount of money, then you should not rate for the disabilities that you incurred during your time in service, which to me is BS because I don't really care how much you make. For me, typically, people that are high income earners live in high cost areas. So $200,000 in a high cost area doesn't get you very far, okay? And you could take that same job and plant it in a very low-cost area or state, and that job would pay $60,000, $70,000, okay? So keep that in perspective, right? Don't just do the blanket of, if this person made this much money and they were living here, they live like a king, they don't need to have any VA money or what have you coming in, because that's not what it's about, right? If they take an inch, or if you give them an inch, right? You give them an inch, they'll take a yard or what have you, right? So all the different sayings there. So to me, what we need to collectively do as a protected group, and I'm including everybody, right? This affects our entire sphere of family, right? So whether you're a disabled veteran who has parent dependents that you're getting compensation for, how about if that goes away, right? Or you have dependent children that are utilizing certain benefits that you have earned from your time in service. And look, the next step is that whoever is going to start making you feel guilty for getting compensation for your injuries, illnesses, diseases, etc. So trying to make you feel guilty for it is ridiculous, because this is the way that I look at the VA benefits that we've earned, okay? We join the military, the DOD, right, part of the federal government, and part of our benefits package for being not dishonorably discharged and going through all of our whatever we go through, right? Whatever our life unfolds for us in our military service, we all wrote a check payable up till death, right? Willing to put ourselves in harm's way at the signature of an order, right, to send us somewhere. And we all raised our right hand and all that stuff. And yeah, we did it on our own and we got there. But part of the benefit, whether you knew it or not, part of the benefits package was all this stuff on the VA side. And the way that I look at this is, we can all agree that we were severely underpaid compared to our civilian counterpart, right? You take any other sector other than the military and put them in the same situation with the same risks associated with it, and they would be paid quadruple or more what we were getting paid. Just getting over a little cold. So the bottom line is that because of that, we were able to have this tremendous benefits package on the backside through the VA. And there is zero issue about that. And we should never be made to feel guilty for what we've got because of our benefits, right? So we're getting all these mixed signals out there from expanding VA benefits, from the PACT Act, from the VA's basically awareness campaign, trying to make sure that every veteran who qualifies for the new PACT Act presumptives are aware of it, and trying to get them in there. And they're doing hiring blitzes and trying to, bolster up their servicing to us, the veteran community. And then on the other side, we hear things from the Congressional Budget Office talking about, well, maybe we should cut that. Maybe we should decrease the amount of money. Then you get some joker at Washington Post writing a story that basically doubled down on, that is basically a double down on the Budget Office suggestion. Okay? They are talking about, hey, means test. Hey, if a veteran makes a certain amount of money, or let's say potentially their household makes a certain amount of money, maybe they don't need it. Maybe we should change and overhaul the VA with what is considered a condition or not. This is a very, very important thing. And I'm going to tell you again, there's going to be people out there, they're like, it's never going to happen, don't worry about it. It's just blowing smoke, or don't fearmonger or whatever. You know what? Hey, you would much rather know that this stuff is being talked about and doubled down on everywhere around you than walk around with blinders on through a frickin' landmine, a minefield, right? So let's be real here and understand the consequences that could be coming down. And I'm not talking, again, look, is it going to happen this year or next year or 3 years from now? Probably not. But look, if you're going to be around 5 years from now or 10 years from now, it might affect you. But here's the bigger picture. All of our brothers and sisters that are coming behind us are going to be screwed if we don't stick up for ourselves now as a veteran community. And I'll tell you what, a lot of us have kids that are in. My oldest is in, right? So he wants to make it a career. We'll see what happens. I hope he does. And if he does, it's going to be, whatever, another 15 years or whatever before he gets out. What is he going to have on the backside? We need to take care of each other. We need to make sure and remember, if any other protected group was targeted in this fashion, the damn Washington Post would be burnt to the ground. theoretically, right? So we need to voice our disgust, right? And these videos that I'm doing help to show it, because the views that we get, the likes that we get, the shares that we get help to generate some more synergy around the disgust, right? And I'm going to do, like I said, again, 2 or 3 more videos on this because it really pisses me off. So with that, we'll go ahead and end it. Thanks so much. I appreciate you. The next video today will not be on this subject. So if you don't want to hear too much about it, the next one's a good one. All right, thanks. Appreciate you. Have a great one. And remember, if we don't take care of each other, something went wrong.